It is 7 o'clock. I will call the meeting to order. We need a motion to adopt the agenda. Moved by Hector, seconded by Danny. All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Contrary, no. Motion is carried. Are there any items that could put you in a conflict of interest? If not, we will go on to 3, presentation. We have an employee this evening who is retiring after 30 years of service. He chose to take his retirement. We asked him to come this evening to first of all thank him for his work at the municipality. We all know that when he started that job, he was the first building inspector that the municipality ever had, so you can't imagine that it was an easy job. It was something new, and somebody had to get used to, or everybody had to get used to have somebody there to check the constructions. But you took your job as a professional, you treated everybody equally. And I remember when I started my campaign to be on the council, a lot of people were saying that it was difficult to have somebody to come and show how to construct, but the way that you treated the people and you respected their opinions, you worked with them, and it was always in a fair way. The people finally accepted that as part of the municipality, and it's because of you. And you did it in a way that we are all proud of establishing that position for our municipality, and for the new ones coming after you, it's thanks to you that their job will be a lot easier. So I just wanted, on behalf of the council, to say a great thank you. We will miss you. It's a loss for the municipality, but we wish you all the luck in the future, and that you will have time to play golf. So could you come forward to take a picture? If you want to say a few words, you're welcome. So again, thank you very much on behalf of the council for all your work, and the way, again, the professional way that you worked with these people. Thank you. We will go on to 4, adoption of minutes. 4.1, February 15th, 2017, the regular council meeting. Are there any errors or omissions? Seconded by Yvon. All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Yes. Second meeting, March the 1st, 2017, council in committee meetings. Are there any errors or omissions? Moved by Yvon, seconded by Carl. All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Against, motion is carried. Business arising from the previous meetings, there is nothing there. We will go on to the Warden's activity report. On February 24th, there was a special meeting of the UNSM in Halifax on transparency and accountability. Myself, Stefan, and Eric, we went. It was to discuss the development of policies on the expenses of the councillors. There were 2 main policies that came out of that. It was a policy on expenses for the councillors, and another was a policy on hospitality. There is a difference between what we spend in terms of mileage, but if somebody from outside became a dignitary, we would need a policy that would be different from what we have, per diem, etc. An example that we used at the meeting was that if you are trying to to bring a doctor to the region, you will not say that you are allowed $15 for a supper. But we need a policy for special expenses, but that's a policy we need to work on, and a committee called the CMAC. They will make recommendations to every council because they will propose to put this online. All the expense of the councillors will be put online, and it will be a standard across the province, and we would work the same way as Yarmouth or Digby, and they will have a template on how to do it, but these recommendations will come later on. On February 17th, here at the municipal office, there was the announcement with Colin Fraser for the 3 projects that we have received. You were mostly all here, I think, but the finance projects for the cultural hub, the extension of the sewer system at the John Thibodeau Road, and the work at the toilet washrooms in the Veterans Center. And we had also a meeting of our council to discuss priorities with them. There was a meeting of the board of directors on March the 1st. I accompanied the Digby warden to go to Annapolis to meet the Timothy warden to discuss. Annapolis just went to China. It wasn't a trade mission, but it was to make links between Annapolis and China, and they wanted to meet with us to talk about the opportunities that could come out of that, because there will be some dignitaries from China who will be coming here. So we will be looking at tourism and education, because a lot of people in China are looking at going outside to study, and that would include the students, the young people in high school. So they are thinking that because we have University St. Anne and the Acadian culture, there would be opportunities there for us. On the 2nd of 3rd of March, we had a meeting of the Board of Directors of the Acadian Economic Development Council in Halifax. There was also a meeting of the UNSM in Yarmouth. The South Shore meeting, essentially it's the southwestern municipalities who meet to first of all discuss the strategic direction of the UNSM, and also to look at the regional important questions that are not individual to the municipalities but on a larger, that touch a lot of municipalities. So that is my report. Do you have any questions? If not, we will go on to item 7, official statements from the member of councils. I would like to take the occasion to congratulate Gilles Thériault, the boat building constructor at A.F. Thériault and Sons in Metagon River. He was admitted in the Table of Honor Hall of Fame, and this extension was granted for his exceptional work in a local industry that does an excellent work and who creates a lot of jobs in our region. And I would like to ask the council to send him a letter of congratulations. You all agree with that? Any more presentations? If not, we will go on to correspondence. 8.1, invitation to the 8th evening for recognition. We received an invitation from the Acadian Clare Society of Clare. It will be an evening to honor the members of the Clare Health organization, and they are asking us to say a few words on behalf of the council, and the warden said he would be there on the 19th to say a few words. For those who are interested, the evening starts at the evening starts at 5 o'clock. Any questions? Do we need a number or no? I already confirmed that you would be there. 8.2, a letter from the Minister of Natural Resources. This is a letter in response to a letter that we sent earlier to the department to support the Clean Ocean Action Committee work. If you allow me, I will read in English. Having said that, does it mean that before they approve it, the licenses to make explorations, that there will be consultations? That's what I would take from it, that there will be consultations that might be limited to the municipalities. If you look at the example, there were a number consultation meetings. It's not necessarily in Clare, but there were in Digby, and they, when there are cases for development like that, it is not necessary that they go directly to the council, but there are meetings that are organized. Thank you. Any more questions? In that case, there are a lot of questions that I could not answer because I am not, yeah. If they are coming, wait, wait, power. Yeah. So before we give our opinions, will we have the chance to talk to somebody who will give us advice? Like somebody from St. Anne's or somebody who can give us advice?
This is a good question. So Stefan could give us a bit of context. We have a presentation by Graham Gaughan. The Clean Ocean Act is the name of the organization which presented, and after their presentation they approached the municipalities in the southwest of the province to ask for their support to look at lease sites 3 and 4 and the potential for exploration for petroleum, because of the importance that these two sites have for fisheries, not necessarily for lobster but for other fisheries. So I imagine it's the same group that we would have correspondence with them. Thank you. Are there other questions? 8.3 email inquiry. Lyme Disease Awareness Month. This is correspondence we received through email from Donna Luger, who is the representative in Nova Scotia for the Canadian Lyme Disease Foundation. In her email, she talks about the impact of the disease and the importance to raise awareness of people on the impact of Lyme disease. She's talking about a number of initiatives in Nova Scotia and throughout Canada, and she gives us links to websites that provide resources and to raise awareness with regard to the disease and the impact and the effects that it can have on an individual. The letter will be available on our website, so if you want to consult the links provided by Madame Luger, we'll be able to consult them on our website. Are there any questions? No. We move to the CAO's report for the system of sewers at Church Point. The tender for the construction of the 12 by 16 building is now closed. I will ask for an official motion to grant the contract. The construction should begin next week. The project is going ahead as foreseen, and for the cash and the cash flow requirements have been satisfied. Everything's going well. For the Veterans Center, the renovations to the washroom are almost finished. The other work will be done by the end of March. We're going to build a new lean-to or cabin at the back of the building, which will be used to house our generator and other equipment. We have no new information on the digital display. Once before the end of the month, they should be beginning the installation. It will depend on weather. There's a related subject. The Clare Veterans Association has asked us to revise the lease. This has been done. There's a draft of the lease on my desk right at the moment. Our lawyer will look at it, and we hope to have all that taken care of by the end of the weekend in order to let things go ahead. For the sewer system on the John Thibodeau Road, we have sent a call for tenders for the pumping station. By invitation, we want the station to be compatible with the rest of the system. So we have invited Xylem Inc. and Samson Pumps. Both offer equipment which is compatible with what we have already, and we hope to have tenders from them soon. The advantage of the plan for the site, it will be done by the end of this week. The cash flow situation is good. We will be able to meet our obligations during this fiscal year. For the hub, we have submissions, tenders for renovations to the edifice. If you look at the agenda, you will see that there's a motion to award the contract for this work. It should be beginning at the beginning of April. The priority will be the roof. And concerning cash flow, we are in a good position. Concerning our application for the 250th anniversary of Clare, we have asked for $200,000. Of this $200,000, there would be $175,000 from the federal and $25,000 from the municipality. The application was filed on the 31st of January, and we have not had any news back from the federal government as yet. For the Grand Fondo, registration is now open. To date, we have 170 participants. So the staff and the committee are very pleased with this figure. A reminder that we were nominated for a prestige award by the Canadian Sport Alliance under the Sport Organization of the Year. The recipients of this prize will be announced in Ottawa on the 21st of March 2017. The Cape St. Marie Lighthouse, ACOA has looked at our project concept, and they have given us the authorization to go ahead with a formal application. The motion to make the application is being finalized. The staff is working on it. This evening and this week I will be working with it on them. We expect to be able to file it with ACOA by the end of March. We hope to have news back on this in the spring. So another reminder, the amount would be $140,816, and we're already contributing $67,000, and the balance is being asked for from ACOA. We had a tax sale recently on the 11th of March 2017, last Saturday. There were 28 properties involved. Of those 28, there were 2 were removed from the tax sale because there was no interest. 2 others were bought, and the other 24 were bought back, and the other 24 were sold for an amount the interpreter did not get. For this amount, $17,372 dollars were put towards the taxes owed, and the balance, $87,000 around, approximately, were put into our tax account. Financially, the municipality is in a good situation. As of today, 15th of March, the municipality has income of $8,072,019 with expenses of $8,140,000 approximately, giving us a small surplus. Within that, the heating system of the medical center is still included. So the net income could be increased by $180,000. Beginning on the 15th of March, as of the 15th of March, our balance was $1,326,000 approximately, and a reserve of $3,120,000 approximately. So there are 4 reserves. Our operational, 400 and some odd thousand. A reserve for capital projects, 1,936,000 approximately, and our reserve for the landfill, 315,000 approximately, and for the gas tax, 403,000 approximately. We have good balances in our reserves, and financially we are in a good position. Well, internally, a number of changes have taken place in staff. Connie Soni has retired. We wish her success in her future plans. The Director of Finance's position will be advertised within a few weeks. Also, as you are aware, we have hired Daniel Godet as Assistant Building Inspector, so we wish Danielle a warm welcome. As for meetings I have attended, there were a large number of meetings on rural internet with my colleagues in other municipalities. We also had a meeting of the Biolog Committee on the 23rd of February. As the warden mentioned, there was the UNSM, a special session on transparency. In addition, I met the Department of Natural Resources of the province, Mr. Lloyd Heinz, in Digby to discuss the lumber industry, forest industry. Our Commissions Committee met, and we discussed communications. We had EMO training for the council, as you know, for the which took place on the 6th of March. There was another internet meeting with my colleagues on the 9th of March 2017. Upcoming meetings, there's only one, the recognition evening for members of the Health Council of Clare, and that is my report. Are there any questions? Just to clarify, on the lighthouse, our contribution is 77,000, but we've already had government money from the federal government, so our net contribution is only $7,000. So it's a $341,000 in the project. There's only $7,000 of taxes in that. It's a good investment. It was fortunate that the federal government approved the second application. We do not know about that. This program is at the discretion of the minister, but the discussions we had with the employees of ACOA were favorable so far, but they haven't said yes or no. But they have encouraged us to file our application. Are there any other questions?
Questions or comments? If not, we will go on to item 10, committee reports. The building committee report, Danny? Any questions? Thank you, Danny. 10.2, the Villa Acadienne, Brian. A small report. The Board of Directors of the Acadian Villa met on February 28th and the villa will hire a consultant firms in February to create a business plan for the villa to replace the villa. The plan will be presented to the Department of Health, and concerning the site for the villa, there were 8 people who have submitted property proposals of it that are available for the construction of a new villa. That's all for now from the villa. Any questions? If not, 10.3. Was there a waste check meeting, Carl? Yes. We had a meeting on March 13th. We had a meeting on the 13th of March. We talked a bit about what we do at a regular meeting, but we talked about the policies that are still being revised. The next meeting, the policies should be ready for the meeting. We have 6. We talked about the extended producer responsibilities, which means that they are talking about the province. There are a lot of provinces who have already put this system in place, but the businesses who have a lot of waste, they will be responsible for paying to get rid of the waste. In the Clare region, we have up to date, we don't really have any that need to go in that program, but it's mostly for big businesses. We talked about that, like big businesses like there are in Halifax, so we talked a bit about that. Thing that I noted or mentioned at the meeting, and that we talked about, is the subject of flyers that are distributed for sales in the stores. We have a problem that the flyers are distributed not always at the home. It is thrown on the ground, over the lawns and the driveways, at houses where there is nobody living, things like that. But it is littering in a way, and we will try to solve that. There will be a letter that to be written by WasteCheck to the company who distributes the flyers to try to see either there is a tube to put the flyers in or a mailbox, and if we don't have those two, you would not get the flyers. We also, there was the idea, in my opinion, that would work well, is to have one box at every mailboxes. Now the community mailboxes have one box there where the flyers would be put in there, and the people who want the flyers will take the flyer from there and bring them home. So then there would be no flyers distributed to the homes as it is now, because it is a big problem. It is spread all over. So we talked a lot about that subject. That was in general the meeting of the 13th. Any questions? If not, 10.4 Southwest Biosphere, was there a meeting? We had a meeting also on the same day, the 13th. Most of the meeting was on everybody here in Southwest Nova. We are part of UNESCO, and every 10 years they revise the area to see if it is still sufficient to be part of UNESCO. And we did not get good news. The news that we got was that we will need to make changes in a lot of things to still have our spot in UNESCO. Of course, we don't want to lose that. It is UNESCO is big. We don't want to lose that. So what we will send a person from our group to France in Paris for meetings. We are part of the Euromad. That means that it's the European Biosphere group, the group from Europe that Man and Biosphere, MAB. So these are meetings of Euromab in France, and this includes 302 biosphere reserves, and we are part of 302 biosphere reserves that include 36 countries. And in Southwest Nova we are part of that, so it is really big. And like I said, we have a chance to lose that, so we will send somebody to represent us in France at the meetings so that they can push to tell them how much we are still part of UNESCO, and we don't want them to remove us from the list. We have also talked about it's a bit of advice for later on to the public. They made a study, and they told us at that meeting that as it is going now, in 13 years from now, which is not far down, the water level of the ocean will increase by 15%, 15 inches, which is quite a bit. And this is in 10 to 13 years. We talked a lot about the Annapolis Royal, the village of Annapolis Royal, that when the tide comes up, it comes almost equal to the road, but it will be 15 inches higher than that, which means that there will be a lot of restaurants. The street, when it is high tide, will be underwater. So these are things we need to think about. So climate change, a lot of people don't think about this, but we need to start thinking about it because it is a problem and it will cause problems. For example, in Metegan, at the bottom of the hill where there is Water Street, there could be problems there, and other areas in Belleville Cove. So we talked about that also. That opened our eyes on the amount of water that we will have. So that was quite mostly the meeting, and that was it. Any questions? Next we will go on to item 11.1, motion to award tender construction of a 12 by 16 foot building at the Church Point wastewater treatment plant. Thank you. This was last Thursday on March the 9th. We opened the tenders. The construction of 12 by 16 building is part of the infrastructure to do renovations and improvements to our water and sewer system in Church Point. And for the construction of the building, we only had one tender. It was received from Jacques Deveau Construction for the amount of $20,156.05 plus HST, and the amount is in line with the budget that we had established for the project. So I ask the council to pass a motion to grant the contract. Eric, you want to make the motion? I move that the municipality of the District of Clare award the tender for the construction of a 12 by 16-foot building at the Church Point wastewater treatment plant to Jacques Deveau Construction in the amount of $20,156.05 plus HST. Anybody second that? Hector? Any discussion on the motion? If not, all those in favor indicate by saying yes. Contrary, no. Motion carried. 11.2, motion to award tender cultural hub project, including new porch entry and renovations of former courthouse space. Again, we opened the tenders last Thursday. It was a public opening, which means that the people who submitted were welcome to be present. This is part of the cultural hub at the former school in Comoville. We received two tenders for the project, two good submissions. Shepcom Construction Limited, they had the lowest tender at the amount of $66,956.52 plus HST. Again, the amount is in line with what we had planned for the project. So this evening I will ask the council for an official motion to grant the contract to Shepcom. Does anybody wish to make the motion? Danny? Does anybody wish to second that? Seconded by Carl. Any discussion on the motion? If not, all those in favor indicate by saying yes. Contrary, no. Motion is carried. 11.3, motion to grant a shingling on the roof and other repairs to the former courthouse building in Comoville. This is it's for the roof at the old Comoville school. It is still part of the cultural hub project. Last fall we approved an amount to make the repairs. We could not do it because it was too late in the season. Shepcom had been granted the contract, but we had approved a motion, and their amount was $44,347.82. It was approved, but at the time we had granted that amount for the roof. We did not make an official motion to grant it to Shepcom. So this evening it is simply to solve that. So I will ask the council to make a motion to approve the construction of the roofing to Shepcom. Hector, I move that the municipality of the District of Clare award the tender for the re-shingling of the roof and other repairs to the former courthouse in Comoville to Shepcom Construction Limited in the amount of $44,347.82 plus HST. Seconded by Yvon. Any discussion on the motion?
All in favor, say aye. Contrary, carried. Motion to write a letter of support for the Colonie Jeunesse Acadienne. As you recall, at the last meeting we were asked by the CGA to write a letter of support for their project of a climbing wall that would be constructed on the campus of St. Anne's University. It would be in the amount of $30,000, and they are hoping for a contribution of $15,000. They aren't asking for money from the municipality. What they want from us is a letter to support the project. They are required to submit 3 supporting letters. They have a letter already from L'Université Sainte Anne. They have a letter from another camp for young people, and the 3rd letter that they hope to obtain is a letter from the municipality. I move that the municipality of the District of Clare write a letter to the CGA in support of their climbing rappelling wall project. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Against? Carried. 11.5, motion to officially rename 2 roads in Saulnieville. This motion we're asking you to adopt this evening to rename the word from Saulnieville, which would become officially the Saulnieville Wharf Road, and the road previously named the Saulnieville Wharf Road would become the Saulnieville Harbor Road. As you recall, at the last meeting we circulated a map showing the 2 roads. At the present time this caused confusion, so Gary Sullivan has been working with the people who live on this road, including Como Seafoods, and we have all of the necessary signatures. In addition, what we are proposing here this evening, the 2 names respect our policies, our new policy for road naming. So what I'm asking for this evening is a motion to officially rename those 2 roads. Is there someone who wants to make the motion? Yvon. I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare make the following changes. The road previously named Saulnieville Road from the wharf to Highway 1 be officially renamed Saulnieville Wharf Road, and 2, the road previously named Saulnieville Wharf Road be officially renamed Saulnieville Harbor Road. Is there a seconder? Danny, is there a discussion? Carl? Just so it's clear, the road that goes around the fish plant, that will be that will be the Saulnieville Wharf Road, and the one that goes on the breakwater, that's the Saulnieville Harbor Road. Brian. Unfortunately, I wasn't at the last meeting, but here it says the Schmidt Saulnieville, going from the wharf to the road, to the highway, from Clarence's to the road, Clarence's to the wharf. That would be the Saulnieville Wharf Road, and then after that it would be the Harbor Road. When you go to Como Seafoods, you use that road that goes in the parking lot to the wharf. That would be for the harbor. When you go in front of Como Seafoods, it will be the Saulnieville Wharf Road. So it's just that little curve in the big parking lot that will be the Harbor Road. It's for security, because we've had discussions. People think that it's called one name and it's actually called another name. Is there any other discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor? Against? Carried. Motion to appoint the new assistant building inspector and assistant fire inspector. As you know, we have already hired Daniel Godet as the new inspector for buildings and assistant fire inspector for the municipality of Clare. But we need a motion for this for administrative reasons, in order they can take part in training sessions for municipal employees among different municipalities. So in some cases they have to be shown an official motion. So Daniel is already in his position, but this is an administrative detail to ensure that he can participate in training events. I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare appoint Daniel Godet as the new Assistant Building Inspector and Assistant Fire Inspector for the Municipality of Clare. Is there a seconder? Hector? Is there discussion? All in favor? Against? Carried. 11.7, motion to make application for the appointment of Gary Sullivan as Special Constable. Arnold was an special constable, and this was to enforce the municipal bylaws. It was always Arnold who did that. Gary was never officially appointed as a special constable, so Arnold is about to take his retirement. Now it takes 4 or 6 weeks to get official recognition from the province, so we want to be sure that we have enough time to get the process going. And the first step is to ask the Council to allow us to do this. So this evening we are asking permission to apply to appoint Gary as a special constable. Is there someone to make the motion? Danny? Seconded by Carl. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Against? Carried. 11.8, motion to make application to appoint Daniel Godet as Special Constable for the same reasons as I mentioned earlier. We have appointed Daniel Godet as a Special Constable in consultation with Arnold, and he seemed to believe it was a good idea. Quite often Daniel, because he will be in training, he will be able to invest a fair amount of his time to apply legislative measures and municipal regulations. So it would be a good idea to appoint him as a special constable. And so Arnold, so this is supported by the department and by Arnold. Is there someone to make the motion? Neil. I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare make application to the Department of Justice for the appointment of Daniel Godet as Special Constable under the Nova Scotia Police Act for the enforcement of legislation and or municipal bylaws. Is there a seconder? Danny, is there discussion? All in favor? Against? Carried. 11.9, motion to make a contribution of $4,000 to the Lions Club. This will be under grants to organization. This is following on the presentation of the Lions Club at our last meeting. They have asked for a contribution of up to $40,000 for four deep fryers. The council has recommended to make this contribution. We have the available funds under grants for organizations for this year. So all we need, if the council wishes to do this, we can approve this immediately. So this evening I would ask simply a motion to approve this contribution. I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare grant $4,000 to the Metegan Lions Club towards the purchase of 4 new fryers. Seconded by Carl. Is there discussion? I would like just to say, because there was the presentation of the Lions, and they showed us contributions that come from the community for wheelchairs, glasses, and there's contributions when they go to festivals. This is a good cause to give this $4,000. The Lions do a lot of good in the community. It's in recognition of all the money they give out each year to the community. They give life tanks and cords of wood during the winter. They don't want recognition for that, and they don't ask for recognition. That just a thank you is all they ask for. Are there any other comments? If not, all in favor? Against? Carried. Motion to survey the Placide Como Road from Route 1 to the shoreline. This is in discussion with our lawyer Lynette Muse, following on our work on the matter of ensuring access to the beach in the municipality of Clare for the Placide Como Road. This is one of the roads identified. What is proposed here is that going from the main highway to the beach, we're asking that the surveying be done to protect our access to the beach and also to protect the interests of the owners adjacent on the road. So what our lawyer suggested is that the first thing to do would be to do the surveying of the road, and secondly to enter into an agreement concerning the limit of property with the owners. We need first of all a motion to get the process going. I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare survey the Placide Como Road from Route 1 toward the shoreline. Following completion of this survey, it is further recommended that the municipality enter into a boundary line agreement with the abutting landowners so as to ensure that the road does not encroach upon their respective parcels. Is there a seconder? Hector? Is there discussion? All in favor? Against? Carried. 12, in camera session, we have 2 items to discuss: 12.1 rural internet and 12.2 staffing. But before asking for a motion to go in camera, I would like to mention that all the councillors are wearing purple ribbon. This is in recognition of Epilepsy Recognition Month. So this is why we had a group photo taken at the beginning of our meeting in order to demonstrate our support for the cause of combating epilepsy. I will now receive a motion proposed by Neil, seconded by Ivo, to go in camera. Motion carried. Good evening.